I have just seen the newest Indiana Jones and Dial of Destiny. And let me tell you one thing. Given the choice, I would rather watch the paint dry.
Nice.
Let me put it this way. I love Indiana Jones. I still remember when I was 8, that was in 1984, and my dad took me to a cinema to watch the Temple of Doom. I absolutely enjoyed every second of that movie. I have seen it a couple more times since then, and believe me, that magic has not aged at all. The movie is still very entertaining. In my opinion, it defines the adventure genre. It has scary bad guys, precious artifacts, non-forced love interests, and more. Interestingly enough, it's still considered to be the weakest of the original trilogy. So, after the Temple, I saw the Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade, and damn, I actually had to agree with that. Those movies were even better. And not only I was crazy about the adventure of the brave archaeologist. Every kid in my neighborhood either wanted to be Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, or Indiana. You can of course guess who I wanted to be. And remember, that was still in communist Poland, when access to Western culture was problematic at best. Yet still, those movies made an impact on people, even behind the Iron Curtain. I actually watched Raiders on bootleg VHS tape, because it was the only way I could see it. However, it goes beyond the childhood nostalgia, because I still consider the trilogy really well made and thought of. It is simply a good, solid piece of entertainment. Fast forward, and many years later we got the Crystal Skull, which was, I believe, a cash grab, based on member berries, nothing more. Russians were mediocre as villains compared to Nazis, and the movie also had aliens and Shia LaBeouf. It was just weird. Oh, and don't even get me started on the nuclear fridge. At least we got one solid meme out of it. But Jesus Christ, if I knew what they would make afterwards, I would have given the fourth installment a bit more credit, because I'm sorry, Dial of Destiny is simply abysmal. Look, before coming to the cinema, I hadn't read any review, hadn't watched any YouTube video, nothing. It's because I wanted to have a complete spoiler-free experience. However, when I saw the ending credits, I really regretted it. Because had I known what I know now, and others knew a little bit earlier, I probably wouldn't have come at all. I would have probably stayed at home and did something much more entertaining, like, I don't know, getting drain cleaner enema. In short, I regret spending money and wasting over 2 hours of my life, which I am not getting back. This is the worst Indiana Jones movie, and actually one of the worst movies I have seen this year. I barely managed to last till the end of it, and it left a terrible sour taste in my mouth. It's an ultimate proof of what is wrong with the modern cinema, especially when we're talking about Disney-owned franchises. A clear example of woke ideology, a clumsy attempt to destroy everything that was dear to us in the past, to doom another franchise in the name of virtue signaling. It's not even annoying at this point, it's just tiring. I'm not angry anymore. I'm very tired of the same overused patterns and tropes dismantling classic legacies. I can't sugarcoat it. What the movie does best is deconstructing and ridiculing the titular character. It was done the same way to Luke Skywalker, Captain Picard, and, if the reviews are true, because I haven't watched it yet, to Nick Fury in Secret Invasion as well. Because for some reason, certain studios absolutely love portraying characters of certain demographics as broken, old, and depressed. But have you noticed how modern productions actually fail to explain why, during all these years, those characters lose almost everything, despite doing quite well by the end of previous installments? Of course, the reason is quite obvious. Those people are old and inept because they serve as a springboard to launch careers of their replacements, usually, of course, strong, independent women. Women who are not written to be great characters to identify with, no, they are written to look great in comparison. Hollywood is now obsessed with feminism and youth, and the result is always the same: unwatchable crap. It is annoying how deceiving this movie is, mostly because first 20 minutes of it are really good. We are being shown a de-aged indie chasing Nazis on the train in the search of the usual, some powerful MacGuffin. I think this time, it's a Spear of Christ. Spear is not there, but Indy and his, apparently one of his best friends, Basil, who was never introduced or shown in previous movies, but whatever, they find half of the mysterious dial. It's a tragedy because this part is really good. Yes, Harrison Ford's face looks a bit weird sometimes, and they try to put him in the dark as often as possible to make the young look more believable. It generally works. When watching it, I released a sigh of relief. This is Indiana Jones I remember. They nailed it. But then the next act begins and everything goes to shit. Forward to 1969 and we see Harrison Ford's character waking up as a sad old man living in a crappy rundown apartment. Then we follow him to work in some second-class university where, of course, nobody respects him. As you probably all know, older people in modern movies absolutely cannot be respected, especially straight white ones, well, for obvious reasons. I think I still remember Indiana Jones and his father, by the way, being one of the most famous archaeologists in the world, but apparently in Disney movie you cannot have that anymore. And then we get to meet Phoebe Waller-Bridges' character and my god, forget about Rey, forget about Galadriel from Rings of Power, forget about Captain Marvel, forget about Bo Peep. Helena Shaw is worse than any of them, in my opinion. She is a pure essence of modern, strong, independent woman who is the best at everything, who's also being an insufferable bitch towards the main character most of the time. The example of it is in the first scene we meet her. During Indy's lecture, she publicly corrects him a couple of times and shows him that she of course knows more than him. Never mind that he's more than twice her age with years and years of experience. It doesn't matter. This is Disney, her character must be better. And this is just the beginning. I don't really want to spoil too much, let me just put it this way. She is an obnoxious girl boss who always knows better, who most of the time doesn't respect Indiana Jones at all, almost gets him killed, and never suffers any consequences for it. And maybe, just maybe, it wouldn't have been so bad if she at least went through some change of character, but no, she doesn't. And it is implied that we, the audience, are supposed to like her for it. It's also hinted at the end that she would put on the hat and take the mantle of Indiana Jones, because right now it's like a job title. And look, maybe, just maybe Phoebe Waller-Bridge is a great actress. Maybe. I haven't seen her in many things. But in this one, she is simply not likable at all. I may even say that she constantly gives out the Brie Larson vibe even more than Brie Larson herself.
Is that like a personal attack or something?
The story is full of plot holes. The main antagonist apparently is a sorcerer because he has the ability to teleport everywhere the script wants him to be without any explanation as to why he ended up in such a place. In the original Indiana Jones trilogy, we see bad guys going through the same trouble to reach some destination, just like Indiana Jones himself. But not this time, not with this guy. Apparently he teleports. And he is also a mind reader because he always knows where to go. There is a scene where Indy is spied through the binoculars, and based on the direction Indy's moving in, the bad guys deduce where he's going to end up. Let it sink in. They are in the middle of Mediterranean Sea and they don't even tell him, they just correctly guessed his final destination just because they see him move in, I think that was the west. Hell, they even guess the correct port and the correct pier. This Nazi villain is a waste of a great acting talent of Mads Mikkelsen, who does what he can to be believable, but being given the shitty material he cannot do much with it. Okay, now I'm about to spoil the ending, so if you do not want to hear about this, if you still want to see this movie, which I strongly advise not to, but that's your choice, please jump forward to the next chapter with my final thoughts. Consider yourself warned. I have to say something about this ending scene. Long story short, Dial of Destiny turns out to be a time travel device. Indy is shot and stuck in the past, but being an archaeologist who loves this ancient stuff, he wants to stay there. And Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character cannot have it because she wants him for some reason in the present. So, can you guess what she does? Talks to him, convinces him that his place is in 1969, explains to him that he will die from the gunshot wound without the access to the modern medicine and treatments. Nah, she just punches him out and transports him to the present because she is strong character. And by the way, previously Indiana Jones is shown battling Nazis, taking many hits to the head and just shrugging it off, but she knocks him out in one hit, because of course she does. Femininity! Okay, let's get to summary. This is one of the worst movies I have seen in a long time. My advice is simple: stay away from this piece of garbage. It's not even worth to be seen on a streaming platform for free. As far as I can tell, Indiana Jones' story ended with The Last Crusade. The two following movies are just poorly written fanfics, with the last one additionally trying to force a certain ideology. It's Rings of Power all over again. It's Marvel Phase 4. It's Willow. It's Resident Evil. Do not watch it. Do not give them money. Maybe when they lose a crapload of cash, they will stop making shit like this. You wanna see good and entertaining movie? Go watch Top Gun Maverick instead to see how an older character can be used as a proper mentor. I'm sorry, but my childhood hero, Indiana Jones, is dead. Killed by Disney, destroyed by Kathleen Kennedy. Rest in peace, Indy. Your days of glory shall not be forgotten. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, drop a like and press the notification bell so you won't miss anything I upload. And if you didn't enjoy this, hell, subscribe anyway. At least you will know when there is a new video to actively hate.